In today's episode, we're going to talk about 5 key life choices that lead to growth. So if you are someone who wants to grow, these are 5 very easy and key life choices that you'll want to keep watching and you will definitely want to intake. Welcome back to the Chasing a Greater Vision podcast. I'm your host, Rickey Jasper. Today, I have a good one for you. These are 5 key life choices that lead to growth. I'm going to go through them at a high level and just talk them through. These are something that I do on a consistent and on a daily basis. And as I say, it's a choice. So it's something that you have to actively choose. Number 1, structure your day around your goals. Number 2, have something that challenges you. Number 3, identify and build important/key relationships. Number 4, practice gratitude. And number 5, find areas to serve. Why is growth important? And why is this something that we should really hone in on? Because even if you are a quote unquote successful person, and even if you have the family, even if you have the career, even if you have the house, the white picket fence, all of that, you can get complacent and you can get stagnant, and life can get very boring and very dull because you're not actually growing. We can grow to a point and get all the things, but then wonder, hey, why are we not growing? Growth is a choice. And when you choose to grow, you end up finding the key. Now, I made a point here. I was actually watching another podcast, Chris Williamson podcast. He had this guy, Dr. Alok Kinogia. I hope I'm saying it right. He went by Dr. K, and he said something that I found that was so profound. And when it comes to growth and when it comes to doing things, sometimes the things that we do are hard, but then once we identify what the key is, they're not that hard, right? So when it comes into growth or doing something, initially it can be hard. And he made the point that, his daughter was trying to open like a Flintstones gummy vitamin bottle. And he was like, and at first it was so hard for her to try to open it. She just kept exerting so much force. It was so much effort. She just couldn't get it. And then once she found the key, which is on all of those vitamins things, all you have to do is, press the cap together a little bit, turn, and then lift up, and it pops open. And once you find that key, you can do that over and over and over again, and it's easy. Right? And so when it comes to growth and when it comes to these 5 points, at the beginning or before, when you think about growth, you think it might be so hard to do and it might be so just difficult. But once you find that key, that cap, that once you're able to push and turn and lift up, you do that over and over again and it becomes easy. And what I want to convey with this podcast is sometimes some of these things to do and some of the tips I give, they might be a little hard to start, but once you do them, and that's why consistency is such a common theme here when I talk on Chasing Greater Vision, is because once you're consistent, things become easier and you're just doing the now easier things more consistently, which give compounding results because of your consistent effort. So we're going to get right into it. The tips and tricks. Again, these are 5 key life choices that you can and will want to make on a daily basis in order to grow. Now, your growth is just overall growth, and it also can be in a silo of your life. I keep saying silo of life because it's important, because you can choose areas that you want to grow in. It can be your relationship. It can be your career. It can be your lifestyle. Really can be anything that you choose. So number 1, structure your day around your goals. So on my little notepad, I have simple-preparation, simple-identify goals. The reason why I have that, and I say simple, is because when you structure your day around your goals, structuring your day is actually a simple thing to do. It just takes a little bit of time. So the time that you have to allot to it might feel difficult, but the actual simplicity of structuring your day is relatively easy. And it's looking at your day, and it's looking at the goals that you have, and it's one having some level of preparation. Sometimes it's preparation just to set your goals. The other thing is it's preparation to identify what your goals are. So for that, you'll want to identify what your goals are in your different silo of life. For me, I have fitness goals, right? I love now running. I love now training for High Rocks with my brother. I love podcasting. I love speaking. I love, the life that I'm building with my fiance. I love, that I live close to my family and we have, so many things that we all do together, and the community that I'm building around here and in my place of now living in Texas, right? These are things that I have goals within. So if I know that, then I'm able to structure my day around those goals. So I'll just say a typical work day for me, right? I get up, I wake up at about 5 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday. I go to the gym. After the gym, me and Carly, we take the pups on a walk because my goal is I want to have some intentional time with my family after the gym. before that, I want to have some intentional time going and working on my fitness, right? So these are how I'm structuring my day. After that, I come back, make breakfast, come to my office right here, also the podcast studio. I do my morning devotion, my prayer. I do my morning devotion. I write my prayers in my prayer journal. That is my goals and attention to detail on my faith and having a level of spirituality. Then I have my work day. After my work day, I take the pups on another walk. I love making dinner. Carly loves making dinner. Oftentimes we'll make dinner together. So that's another thing that I'm investing time in structuring my day around my goals, building relationship. I go from building my career to building my relationship. So finding things that structure your day and finding a way that structure your day allows for growth. And the reason why I say it allows for growth is because you take out all the fluff. And I've said this on other podcasts. I don't very infrequently look at social media throughout the day and I have it blocked on my phone because it takes away with what I'm trying to do. When you eliminate blockers, you're able to focus on your goals. You're able to structure your day. I don't have time for other things. Structure means that you're structuring in things that are important for you and you're structuring out things that aren't. So literally think of a building as a structure. It is meant to, once you're inside, you do the things that are supposed to be done inside, and it's meant to keep other elements outside. Build structure around your day. Number 2, have something that challenges you. Another person that I listen to from time to time is this guy, Chad Wright. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's very big on his morning routine. And his morning routine is very simple. And the focus is so he can be intentional about his presence and presence of mind in the morning. And all it is very simple. All he focuses on is making his cup of coffee. And he's like, it's about a 15-minute routine, but what it has steps in the process, and he's not looking at his phone. He's doing something very simple, and all it is just making coffee. And it can be a challenging thing because you want to look at your phone. You want to be locked in with everything else. Having something that challenges you is such an important thing because it inevitably produces growth because you are growing through a challenge. I've seen so many people, and I've been this person as well, make a lot of money going to a 9-to-5 and just going home, being bored, doing the family thing, which while it's great, still kind of bored, still kind of dull, because you ask them, hey, what are you doing in life that's challenging? What are you doing in life that you love and that is actually fueling you? It's challenging and fueling you. And they're just like, well, I'm just kind of like going along to get along. And that's a sad thing because it's like, well, then what are you kind of chasing in your life? Life is something, I used to be this person where I was like, you always need to be chasing your passions 24/7. It's like my beliefs on that is very different now. Like there's a time to rest. There's a time to be in full focus with your family. There's a time to be in full focus on your career. But I think sometimes we fail to carve out time to do something willingly that challenges us, that forces us to grow in an area that we care about. This is going to lead to growth in other areas in your life. So we're filming this at a Saturday started filming at like 8:45 a.m. I don't feel super well. You might be able to hear it in my voice. This morning, my brother was at my house. We started our workout about 6:30, 6:45, and we went for about an hour and a half. I didn't feel like that getting up in the morning. I didn't feel like it's cold outside. I did not feel like it. We did outside workout for about an hour, hour and a half. Went showered real quick. Now I'm in front of camera talking. And when I woke up, I didn't want to do it, but I was like, over time, the challenge of doing these hard things has become easier. And I've embraced the challenge because I have a goal when it comes to fitness. I have a goal when it comes to speaking. And so these two big things, I'm like, what an amazing opportunity that I have before 10 a.m. to knock two major things off of my to-do, not even to my to-do list, I call it opportunities list because it's challenging. And then I can go throughout the rest of my day feeling accomplished, putting time into my family, putting time into other things, and just resting and relaxing and being like, I did a hard thing, right? And I know that whatever phase of life, that time frame and everything might not work for you, but carving out some time, it goes back to number one, structuring your day. The only reason I was able to do this was because I structured my day accordingly and I had it pre-structured. If you find something that challenges you, it's going to force you to grow. Getting outside and running this morning and doing all that, it was tough, but I knew that we moved the needle forward because I did something that was challenging and I knew that it was uncomfortable and I'm growing from it. Then hopping back in here, getting prepped for a podcast, doing this, getting in front of camera when I don't feel super well, it's challenging, but I know I'm going to grow from it because next time when I come back, I'm like, oh, I was able to do that time. now it becomes easier this time. Number 3, identify and build important and key/critical relationships. Build is the key word here. Build is like the key word to a lot of the things that I talk about. I've noticed this with myself. High school, easy to make friends because you're thrusted into an area where there's a bunch of people your age and you are thrusted into classrooms. College, probably even easier. You can go and, create your new identity, find people that have interests that align with you have, join clubs, fraternities, institutions that do everything that, you want to. After that, it can be a little bit harder, and especially once you start getting into family life and potentially living in the suburbs where it's not as dense of a population of people than before. But identifying and building key relationships is such an important thing. The reason why I say build is because in order to build something, you have to be better. If I am trying to build a solid foundation and continue to build solid foundations and then build a structure up of something, I have to get better in the process because I need to make sure that the structure and the foundation is solid. And if I'm building consistent relationships and key relationships, I need to be a better person in the process because we're all growing and evolving and changing and learning, right? If I was the same person now at 33 as I was at 25, I wouldn't be able to have the richness of relationships that I have now because I didn't build myself. So in order to build key relationships, you have to build yourself in key areas because you're going to want to mature as your relationships mature. And then also you're going to want to keep company of people who have your maturity level or higher as well, because they're feeding into you, you're feeding into them, and you're only as strong as, the weakest person in your circle. And I very much mean that. And I talk about this so much when it comes to relationship. I can go down this rabbit hole, but like who you choose as a partner is going to be your biggest decision ever for the rest of your life. They will speak life into you or they will pull you down drastically. And either way, other people can see it. They might not say it, but other people can see it and you'll be able to feel it. They can be somebody who's a win in your sales, just pushing you, just giving you life, or just genuinely pulling you down. So good relationships help you grow because they challenge you. Like I value my relationship with my dad, like probably over any other relationship. And it's because I look at him and he's the man that I aspire to be. And because we have that relationship, I watch his actions so intently. I watch the way in which he interacts with my mom. I watch the way in which he treats her. So that teaches me, okay, here's how to be a man in a relationship. I watch the way when he, worked in corporate and he retired as the highest ranking Black in the CIA. So I saw him, obviously not at this age, but, be working at the cotton fields in Parkdale, Arkansas, Deep South Arkansas at 13, then to become the highest ranking Black at the CIA. But I saw all the mess that he had to deal with, and I saw how he overcame every single thing. So now when I'm going through in my career, I'm like, okay, I ask him questions. Hey, how did you deal with that? How did you navigate through these things? I see how he structures his day. I see how his lifestyle is. I see how much emphasis he puts on his physical fitness because he's like, if I have more energy, then I can give more to the people around me. I can serve other people better. So that's why fitness has been the anchor of my life because I'm like, oh, I feel good. Like, I just got a workout in early this morning before I did this podcast. If I didn't, I guarantee you the energy level that I'm giving off now, I wouldn't have because I didn't have anything that anchored me in the morning. I saw that every single day. He's waking up at 4:45 in the morning. I just thought that was how people do things, but I saw that that's the fruit that it produced. So for me, having and building strong relationships and just seeing that was such an important thing. When you have those people around you that can push you, that can speak life into you, that can set a good example, you're going to grow because you're naturally just going to flow into what they're doing because you'll see what they're doing works and what they're doing is a massive benefit to their life and the ones around you. And if you are someone who wants to grow, you're going to naturally follow that. So have and identify and build key relationships. How you build key relationships, you focus on building yourself as well. Number 4, practice gratitude. This is something that I am horrible at, and I would say I don't like to do it. I love to do it, but it's not something that comes naturally to me because I am someone who I'm always like, okay, next thing up, right? So if I achieve something, I don't even really celebrate it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. What's the next thing? I typically look for problems I have a tech background, so a lot of my job is like look for issues, look for inefficiencies, know how to build them, develop them, and make them better, right? And make processes and systems better. So it's like look for problems, make it better. That's how I go through my day naturally. So I can look for problems that either aren't there or they're just not a big deal. When it comes to like from a relationship standpoint, I've talked about this. Last year, Carly and I had our toughest year in 2022. It's 2023 now. Had our toughest year, and it was a byproduct because I was just nitpicking small little, like when I tell you minuscule little things that weren't problems and just making them the biggest thing. And I was like, for whatever reason, it was because I was like, I just felt uncomfortable. I need to make it a thing because I need to make myself feel comfortable or feed my ego or whatever it was, right? And it was something where I didn't even focus on the 99% amazing things that were happening throughout the day and in our relationship. I would pinpoint that one thing and I'd be like, well, if this is wrong, that means everything is wrong. It's similar to what we do when we see criticism, right? We'll see one or two people criticize us, but we'll forget the 100 people that are like praising our efforts or really behind us or really supporting us. So find an area and find things in your life, in your day-to-day where you're practicing a lot of gratitude, where you're looking at things and looking at the glass half full. I do this. Anytime I see myself going down a negative mindset, I flip it and my mind goes, okay, but what is all the good that's happening around me? And then I list out 3 to 5 things in my head. And then I'm like, okay, let me anchor myself there. These are things that I can feel grateful for right now, because I could go down this other negative stuff that really in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter. And another practice that I do, and I have to give a shout out to my therapist, Erin, who we worked with a lot last year, which was amazing. She was like, give it 3 days. If it still bothers you in 3 days, then bring it up, have it as a topic conversation. And the beautiful thing about that is after about an hour or two, you don't even remember it. 3 days, you're like, what was I even upset about? What was there even a thing about 3 days ago? And that's been a consistent practice with me is, hey, if something's bugging me, give myself 3 days, give myself 72 hours. If it still bugs me, okay. And it's have a conversation with whoever it is, address it. But if it's not, then it's not that big of a deal, and let things go and focus on what I can be thankful for now. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, man, I just found all these issues with this thing, and everybody, and now I'm just an unhappy person. And I have one life to live, and I've just spent it just criticizing, being upset, where I could have spent it looking for all the good things, the positive things, and being a positive influence to those around me. So practice gratitude. That is going to help you grow as a person, and it's going to be a consistent practice. And like I said, once you do it, it's going to be easy. Number 5, find areas to serve. A lot of this podcast, it is self-pointing, to yourself. This is things that I need to do, and I need to be better, and I need to do this, right? And I don't say that in, making light of the importance of those things, but I also want to give so much emphasis on serving others. I've learned this so much, and it's been heavily because of my relationship. There's so much content out there that is, and I say from like men, right? And it's men addressing men as in, you deserve this, so you should demand this because you're this net worth and blah, blah, blah. I don't care for that content. I don't think that it's beneficial. I'll be the first person to say that. What makes a man, if I'm speaking to men right now, is being able to be of service in every room that you step into. It's being able to identify the needs of other people and doing your best to serve those needs of other people. It's leading from the front. Being of service is sacrificing self for the betterment of other people. That is true growth. When I come in my house every single day and I walk through the door, I look and I say, okay, we have 2 pups and I have my fiance. What are the things I can do today to make their days better? If I make their days better, and if they have better and happier days, inevitably, I'm going to have a better and more fulfilling and happier day, and it's going to lead to more growth because I'm going to have time and a clarity of mind to do things that allow me to grow, and while doing the thing that is helping me grow. Because what it does is it allows everybody else to have peace of mind so that I can have peace of mind as well. Does it ultimately end up being self-serving? To an extent, yes. But also what it does is it allows you and establishes you as a person who's willing to go above and beyond for the people that you care about. And they'll end up trusting you. And then in turn, it's going to set an example. And then they're going to want to do that to you, and they're going to want to do that to other people around them. So it's going to have this amazing cyclical effect in everybody's day. I would say right now I cook most of the meals here at the house. Now, mind you, Carly is an amazing cook. She loves to cook too. But we had a conversation, and I said, look, I think that you need to spend more time sewing. She's in a beautiful sewing room upstairs in her office. Like, that thing is decked out. You thought this was nice. You saw this whole office. Yes, this is a nice office. Her thing is decked out. And she has built an amazing sewing career over the last 3 or 4 years. But once we moved here, It's obviously the first year you're just kind of moving in, you're kind of getting your flow, you're getting back in your workflow. So she wasn't able to put a lot of time into sewing. And how she is with sewing is she has her projects. She likes to be very well thought out. And then literally just like weeks on weeks, she plans and then she executes. She doesn't like to be sporadic with things like just doing a project here, then 2 weeks doing it here. She likes to plan. So I said, hey, I'll make all the meals throughout the week. You get your time to sew. At first, she was like, no, it's okay. I was like, no. You love doing that. I want to be of service to this house. I also love cooking. I have a smoker outside. It gives me time to do something that I love too and make amazing meals. So what happens is by me being of service to this house, she's able to do what God has called her to do. I'm able to be of service. Now she's happier because she's able to do what she loves. I'm happier because I'm able to serve the house. And then after that, when she's happier, she's looking at all the other ways she can make my life easier. So it's a cyclical thing. Serve others. It will always come back to you, but it also establishes you as a person who is not self-centered. And self-centeredness is the fastest way to shrink yourself and to create so much distrust from other people instead of grow yourself, expand yourself, and expand your influence. So to wrap this whole thing up, 5 key life choices that lead to growth. Number 1, structure your day around your goals. You have to have structure. You have to have the structure of your building of, hey, this is what's going to come into my day, and this is what we're going to keep out. Number 2, have something that challenges you. You can have a 9 to 5. You can have the wife, the dogs, the white picket fence, all that stuff. But if you don't feel challenged, you're going to feel bored. You're going to feel like you're stagnant. And if you're stagnant for too long, you're going to start to regress. So make sure that you find something that challenges you and that makes you better. Number 3, identify and build important and key relationships. Building relationships is so important because you have to build yourself. By building yourself, you will increase the quality of your relationships around you. You increase the quality of your relationships around you. You increase the quality of your life. Number 4, practice gratitude. It's so easy for us to be negative. It's so easy for us to pinpoint and to pick at things that we don't love, that we don't find that are, conducive to our life. But when you start finding things you can be thankful for, you start finding things you can actually be grateful for, it changes your entire outlook. And yeah, that stuff might sound cheesy. It's like, identify the 10 things you can be grateful for. I'm telling you, where you start to look, where your vision goes, your body and everything else follows and it flows. Number 5, find areas to serve. It's very easy to be self-centered, very easy to just take. But when you serve others, you're able to really add a level of meaning and fulfillment to your life and to their life by giving them an ease of just of being in your presence and a trust and establishing trust in other people overall enhances your life. So I hope that this message helped. Now we're going to go into our word of the day or our word of the week. It's very quick. It's very simple. We've already said it. It's a choice. Choosing to do this is easy, but it's something that's still a choice, that it's also easy to choose not to do this stuff. Anything that we go through or that I talk about in this podcast, if you're already performing at a high level, you can perform higher. I'll just say that straight out. I can look and I will look at this video and I'll critique and I can say, okay, cool, I can do better. And it's going to be a choice for me to do better next time I come on camera. And I'm going to say yes to that choice. Everything that you do in life or that is within your control is a choice for you to do or not to do. If you want to grow, doing these 5 things is a choice and you don't have to do them. I urge you to make the choice to do these things because they're simple. Once you find the key, taking the actions is simple, but doing it consistently might seem difficult at first, but over time it becomes easier. Consistency and choices are going to be the key. So I hope this message helped. If it did, please like, comment, share, subscribe, send to somebody else. We're going to keep doing this. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're still here with me right now, and we will see you next week. See you next time. Peace. Thank you all so much for watching the Chasing a Greater Vision podcast. If you like this podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, send it to friends, use a carrier pigeon, do whatever you have to do. We hope that this inspires you to chase your greater vision in your life and for us to continually and consistently do it together.